What is the worst movie you've ever seen? No, I'm not talking about Transformers 2 or Grown Ups 2. I mean a movie so bad, so fundamentally broken, that it leaves a pit in your stomach or makes you feel frustrated and angry beyond any reasonable measure. This is a question I've been asking myself for a while, and I think it's about time to do something about it. So I've pulled up the list of the bottom 100 lowest rated movies on IMDb, and I'm going through them one by one to find the worst movie ever. Welcome to the search for the worst. Manos: The Hands of Fate was an experience. As usual with these famously terrible movies, the story behind it is far more interesting than the picture itself. But apart from that, this might be one of the most excruciatingly boring movies I've ever had the displeasure of watching. It is somewhat interesting that its boringness is for completely different reasons than it was for the Oogie Loves, but which one is worse? Well, let's get into it and find out, shall we?
We're almost there, honey. Just a little while longer and your vacation starts.
I'm getting cold, Mother, and hungry.
So these are the main characters, or something. A boring, cliché 60s family with a typical asshole dad who doesn't listen to anyone, a whiny moron wife who can't do anything independent of her husband, and their stupid little shithead daughter who literally has no purpose in the movie.
Why don't we sing a song to help pass the time? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is down the stream.
So once the elaborate, exhilarating and enthralling music number of Row Your Boat comes to a close, we see a late title card. None of it had any purpose. The entire first scene could be taken out of the movie and it wouldn't make a lick of difference.
Listen, I've never gotten this lost before.
Do you like how when he finishes his line he mouths the word cut? And they still leave it in the movie. Stellar. Fucking stellar. It might be interesting to you that this husband character also happens to be the writer and director. So I guess he's kind of the 60s equivalent of Tommy Wiseau. Wiseau. I still don't know how you say it. You may have noticed that something about the voices doesn't sound right.
Mommy, I'm cold.
That's because the film was shot on a handheld camera that could only record 32 seconds of video at a time. It was also shot with no audio whatsoever, so two blokes and one lady dubbed every single voice in post. That's why everyone sounds the same.
So, can't you give us a break, officer? Well, all right.
And why they sound like shit. While the family are driving around, they get pulled over by the police, who luckily are super kind and really cool, so they don't write him a ticket for having a taillight problem.
Sure do appreciate it. We are running kind of late.
Okay, but if you're running late, you should have started earlier.
Then they leave. Another really important scene, just crucial. So the next few minutes are a bunch of shots clearly designed to have credits overlaid onto them, but I guess they forgot or just couldn't be bothered. So instead it's a tiresome collection of overly long shots with a car driving around. Fantastic. Fucking fantastic. So despite them only being limited to 32-second shots, they somehow managed to make every single piece of dialogue or reaction shot completely bumbling and awkward, and overly long. Take this really important scene, for example. You have a couple of young adults going at it in a young man's parked car. The police pull up to deal with it because clearly they have nothing better to do. The camera stays on them petting for so long that the actress gets bored and looks right into the camera, as if she had no direction at all. Probably because her only instructions were something like, just kiss him or something. Then later when she says,
Why don't you guys leave us alone?
The camera stays on her for like 3 seconds too long.
Why don't you guys leave us alone?
Why? Could they just not be bothered to edit? I know we didn't have fucking Final Cut back then, but come on people, Jesus Christ. We cut back to the idiot family driving around the desert getting even more lost. It's like they shot this scene by tying a piece of string to the camera and just letting it dangle around inside the front of the car. Unreal. Fucking unreal. The emotional peak of this driving around montage is them hitting a dead end, then slowly backing up and reversing. All in one painful, elongated shot too. They eventually come across some creepy old murder house in the middle of the desert. You know, as much as I love a 30-second shot of the husband getting out of his car, slowly walking over to the other side and letting his wife and kid out, then directing them towards the camera, I can't help but feel like it's just a tad unnecessary, just a tad. Like, you need to understand how excruciating this was.
I am Torgo. I take care of the place while the master is away.
So this is Torgo, a creepy orange man who walks around with a staff that has a hand on it, is constantly moving and twitching like he's on LSD, and he has knees so huge that they should counterbalance his entire body and make him fall flat on his face. Oh yeah, and did I mention that he has a staff with a hand on it? I'm going to reveal something very surprising about this Torgo character a little bit later, when you have a little bit more exposure to his complete uncoordinated nonsense. And I assure you, it will bring things full circle and make everything make a whole lot more sense. So after like 16 awkward, unnecessary reaction shots, we move on to... No, wait, you really need to see this. This honest to God is in the movie.
I don't know about it. I just don't know.
The grown-ass husband invites his family to stay the night without the permission of the owner, mind you, and sends his only daughter first into the creepy murder house instead of taking the warning signs from the menacing orange carrot man with a hand staff and giant knees. I'm just going to call him Carrot Hand Staff Man from now, okay? The husband character just sits there and lets the disabled, swollen carrot man elegantly carry their luggage into his house for them.
Torgo, we'll stay tonight, and then tomorrow...
You cannot stay. The master would not approve.
The house is filled with disturbing hand statues and a big painting of some cult leader with a terrifying dog demon thing. I'm sure you have no idea where this is going.
Mike,
The lack of any sound effect in this movie makes you pay a lot more attention to the bizarre soundtrack. It makes scenes that should have some kind of build-up or point to them completely laughable and fucking stupid. What? Why is this in the movie?
The master likes you. Nothing will happen to you. He likes you.
Likes me? I thought you said he was dead.
Wait, what? This is news to me. Has anyone mentioned this before? What is happening?
No, madam, not dead the way you know it. He is with us always. Not dead the way you know it. He is with us always.
Now, I can't figure out if this is a mistake that he said the same line twice, or if it was supposed to be menacing or something. Either which way, I'm sure the director had no idea either. You can't even begin to fathom how many scenes of them standing around doing nothing I've already skipped already. I'm sure at this point that the film probably looks so bad that it's entertaining, but believe me when I say it's horribly fucking boring. They suddenly hear a wolf howling.
oh my God. Mike, what was that?
So their dumb dog runs into the darkness and gets killed by something. Then the husband picks up the dead body, carries it into the darkness, and we cut to the next scene. Unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable. The family decided it might be a good idea for them to leave now. So instead of just leaving, they call for the carrot hand staff man to carry their luggage back to the car for them. You know, the guy who can barely walk and is clearly permanently fucking smashed.
Did you want me?
We're leaving. Would you mind putting the luggage back in the car?
As you wish.
Right now. Fast, damn it, fast!
In a huge twist that no one saw coming, their car breaks down because changing location would cost money. So the husband just sits around moping, leaving his wife and child with a mutant who is clearly guaranteed to be some kind of serial killer. Carrot Handstaff Man pervs on the woman and weirdly touches her shoulder, then sort of apologizes but doesn't. Then she says she won't tell her husband.
Madam, I'll protect you. I will protect you.
Very well. I won't tell my husband.
Why? The husband should come in here and beat him half to death with a handstaff and get the hell out of here. They find out that the nearest phone is 10 miles away.
10 miles? Might as well be 10,000 miles.
No, there is a huge difference. It is plausible to walk 10 miles in a matter of hours. Fucking idiot. So they don't leave, and get Carrot Handstaff Man to go get their bags from out the car again. It's like we're in purgatory, we're just trapped. Then eventually the kid goes missing.
Debbie? Debbie?
Wow, he really sounds concerned for his daughter's well-being, doesn't he? Fucking father of the year right here, well done. She eventually turns up with the devil dog from the painting, and winds up leading everyone to some kind of cult murder room. So was this just a room in the murder house? Why? What?
Get in the bedroom and lock yourself in. I'm going to find Torgo. He's got some explaining to do.
Hurry, please hurry.
Or, you could take a hint and leave the fucking murder house.
I'm through with all of you. Through! Through, do you hear me?
What in the name of forehead is going on? I guess now will be as good a time as any to reveal to you the secret behind Carrot Handstaff Man that makes everything make sense. I made an offhand joke earlier that he seems like he's high on LSD. Well, that's because the actor really was high on LSD. The cast and crew confirmed it after the fact. Suddenly it becomes a lot less funny. Actually, wait, no, it's still just as funny. The husband gets knocked out by Carrot Handstaff Man, and there's yet another never-ending shot of him trying to tie his unconscious body to a tree, which of course is very difficult, what with the swollen knees and being on LSD thing. So a vampire turns up now, or something. A vampire priest with a cape that has hands on it? Well, I guess he's technically not a vampire, but he does have a cape and a mustache. So we now have Carrot Handstaff Man and Hand Cape Mustache Man. Ludicrous. Fucking ludicrous. So Hand Cape Mustache Man opens his hand cape in nearly every scene he's in. To show off his custom-made hand cape, of course. No other reason. Literally, no other reason. So all the ladies who were standing around doing nothing earlier are Hand Cape Mustache Man's wives. And then they start fighting. Yep. Hand Cape Mustache Man thinks it would be funny to wake up Carrot Handstaff Man by poking him in the dick with a handstaff. So he pokes him in the dick with the handstaff. This movie's only 1 hour long, and for what, about 53 minutes of it? I had no clue what was going on. The lighting is so terrible, the quality is so bad, and the background is always black, so you can't see a damn thing. I guess it's time for the Carrot Handstaff Man sacrifice scene.
Kill.
They don't use any type of weapon to do the sacrifice. They don't even use the spare handstaff that was lying around. They just sort of crudely slap him on the torso a little bit. Then feel his face and slap him. Then he dies? But then he doesn't die because that wouldn't kill you. The fuck? I suppose that's where the $3 budget went. Preposterous. Fucking preposterous.
We'll hide in the desert. Someone will help.
Have stupider words ever been said? Desert. A region so arid because of little rainfall that it supports only sparse and widely spaced vegetation or no vegetation at all. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to find plenty of help out there. I've just noticed that because the background is so dark, in certain scenes the Hand Cape Mustache Man looks like a floating red triangle with a human head. They run into the desert, then get scared and say,
Let's go back. They'll never think of looking for us at the house.
You know you might have a point there.
Please, Mike, please, I can't go any farther.
You know you might have a point there.
oh fuck off, movie, just suck a fat one.
So we can lock ourselves in the kitchen. I have my gun.
Well, that added a lot to the movie. It was certainly interesting how that stock footage of a snake was on a blue carpet in the middle of the desert. Very interesting indeed. It cuts to the cops who hear the gunshot from the snake murder. One of them pulls out a juicy drop pop from his pocket and points it into the dark wilderness. And they say it doesn't matter because it was probably someone in Mexico.
Sound does travel a long way at night. It could be clear over in Mexico, for that matter.
Test your sour limits with Juicy Drop Pop.
What was the fucking point? Really, come on, why did they have to show us this? They follow the plan and go back to the house, where they'll be least expected. Hand Cape Mustache Man immediately finds them, probably because they just stood there doing nothing. In this shot, the camera awkwardly sits on the dog until someone behind the camera can convince it to bark. Hand Cape Mustache Man finally gets gunned down in an out-of-focus, nonsensical shot. Kind of. But not really. Not at all, actually.
Sure is good to get away. Damn the rain.
Vacations are fine, but this one should be great. Vacations are fine, but this one should be great.
Dude, I've seen a lot of bad acting in my time, but that's probably the worst I've ever seen.
Vacations are fine, but this one should be great.
Who even are these people? Why are they here? It turns out these people are lost as well, and they too wind up at the murder house. Now the super surprising ending twist is that the husband has made his wife and daughter into the wife of the hand-cape mustache man, and the husband has taken the place of the carrot handstaff man. Those are all just words, I said, and that's the ending. It even ends with one of those, "the end?" question mark things. Fuck off. This movie sucked the life out of me. In fact, I think it's actively taken years off my life. If they edited all the uncomfortable and pointless pauses out, it would probably be a 15-minute movie. That would also be quite funny and stupid. But as it is, it's pretty fucking excruciating. This video doesn't do justice on how boring it really is, because I want the video to not be super fucking boring itself. I usually consider 1 hour to be quite a short amount of time, but this was one of the longest hours of my life. It's interesting to me how this movie's inept in a completely different way to the Oogie Loves or something like Birdemic. In comparison, the Oogie Loves was competently made, but was immensely boring the entire time because it was made for 2-year-olds. And Birdemic was so clueless in its editing that it became a complete incoherent mess. So where does Manos the Hands of Fate come in the ranking scale? It's not the worst. It didn't really make me angry like the Oogie Loves or Birdemic 2, but at the same time I don't think there's a worse crime a movie can commit by being boring. Utterly, utterly boring. So it belongs in between Food Fight and the Oogie Loves. Hey, did you know that Manos is Spanish for hands? So the title of the movie is Hands, the Hands of Fate. Good job, morons.
And up next in the search for the worst is...
You know, I've just closed my eyes. I'm not even going to pay attention to what it is anymore. I'm just going to watch it. Please, help me. Well, Manos, The Hands of Fate, what a movie that turned out to be. I feel like this movie, if you're sat around with a bunch of friends, it's totally drunk and shit, this would probably be really entertaining, but when I was just sat there in like the middle of the afternoon just watching this bullshit, I'm just like, I can't be fucked with this, come on. So how did it look to you? Did it look entertainingly bad, or did it look as bad as I thought it was? Tell me in the comments below. Hey Hollywood, if you want to give me $10 million to make a decent horror remake of this movie, I will do it. So please, give me $10 million. So as always, thanks for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Make sure you have a look at some of my other videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.